y'all wondering why I got the mask on. I got a special guest today, nigga. Straight off the Diddy trial, the Punisher, nigga.
Pause.
My man Sheree. I didn't even know the nigga was from Harlem. He's gonna be doing an interview with me after our sponsor. You know look, we know a lot of shit been going on with the Diddy trial, man. Baby oil, Astroglide, cars been blowing up, people's doors been kicked in, witnesses being threatened. But there's been a lot of talk about the male sex workers that been hired. I ain't know one of these niggas was from Harlem, my nigga. Not just from Harlem, the nigga actually up the fucking block from my neighborhood. The nigga they call the Punisher, yeah. Let's get ready to get into the interview. He's live here with me right now. Sheree, AKA the Punisher.
Sheree, that name sound freaky as shit, nigga. You sound
What's
like a
good,
freak,
bro?
nigga.
How you?
Yo, I'm good, man. I can't complain. It's been a wild couple of weeks, but it is what it is. Pun intended.
Pun intended, man.
Yo, he got the cocaine.
So look, before we get into any of the other shit, when I reached out to do this interview, you was telling me that you from 139th and 7th and 8th?
Yo,
Harlem?
my whole life, man. Since 73. Since 73.
Drivers Row.
He was on the show before, y'all.
Drivers
He was
Row.
on a reality TV
2008.
show. I remember that.
You never came down to Lenox? You never came to the park or nothing?
Bro, every now and then, man, like I told you, I like super young. Like I balled with Big L, Ali Mo, I balled with Ali Mo.
Wow.
I told you McGruff was my dude. So McGruff used to actually hang on my block.
Okay.
He used to come up the street and hang with us. So
Right.
I mixed it up a little bit, but I hooped mostly on St. Nick, so I didn't come down there a lot to play.
That's what's up. You ever play ball in high school or anything like that?
Bro, the crazy thing is I found out today I played 91, 92.
Yo, he
for
looked like a
Martin
freak,
Luther King,
nigga. I'm sorry,
which
y'all.
we played Manhattan
He looked
Center.
like a freak.
Now,
Okay.
we talking 33 years ago, but we think we have in common Coach Dave. He coached me my senior year, and he hit some of my people saying, yo, Ray played against Cam in high school. Like, I remember Rich Parker from that team. I don't remember, like, a lot. But I was like, that's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
If it's really that close and dudes don't
Yo,
even...
Diddy and Casey
Like, Harlem is a family, bro.
smashing
It's a
his
small
dude,
network,
man. They
man.
Yeah,
some
Coach
freak, yo.
Dave, I went to
He look
Manhattan
like
Center, but Coach
a
Dave
cokehead.
actually coached me in the summertime. Now he's my coach. 91, 92, that's the year we actually went to the championship, so
But
it's
they
hard
always
not to know what
cokeheads.
I was doing out there. That's crazy. You must not have been playing like that, because I killed King that year, man. Elvis, Rico.
I was starter, captain.
Listen.
Like I said, it's the memory. You was hooping, you was killing. It's cool. Like,
So you play with Rico and them?
of course, Rico Gerard.
Yeah. That's my guys, man. Shout out to, I haven't seen them in years, but shout out to Rico and everything. But this is a really small world. I had no idea you right up the block from me, man.
It's crazy.
It's crazy, man. Yo, so let me ask you, how'd you start with being a male dancer? How did that career become how did that become a choice for a career path for you?
Some young man sucker shit, man. I broke up with my girlfriend, and the reason why we broke up was she started working in the strip club, right? So she working in the strip club, came home, like, yo, I'm meeting a bunch of dudes, like, I'm expendable, and that young 21-year-old mind was on some, yo, I'll show her, I'm gonna get on the stripper shit too.
Right.
And I really went hard to try to get in the business, and actually when I got in it and you see all of the women, and
It's always over a girl, bro. Niggas always do
it
shit
was
for
like,
women.
like best breakup ever, man. So 30 years on that hustle.
That's what's up. So how did the first time Puff and Cassie get in contact with you?
Yo, they called up like they was just hiring a regular party. Cassie hit me directly, said her name was Janet, and said it was her birthday. So her husband said she could hire a dancer. So I just booked it like a regular party. At the time, it was like $200. I gave her a quote.
If you a male stripper, you freaky, alright? If you a male stripper, you freaky. Off the back. Off the back, you freaky.
A party, just a regular little strip tease for a birthday girl.
But like, that's a great answer. How do they find you? Like, is it ads, internet? Like, how do they even track somebody like you down?
Oh yeah, yo, all my marketing and stuff in my business is like SEO, so Google searches. So if you go online in the New York City area and you put in male strippers for hire or whatever, my website's gonna come up. So they just clicked on the website and called the number, and I just happened to pick up the phone. It wasn't, I don't think they were looking for me specifically.
Right.
I just picked up the phone.
Got you. Where did these, well, let's say the first time, where did these events usually happen at? Puff's house, Cassie's house, hotel? Like, where did these events happen at?
I was all
He getting into
super high
details.
hotels.
Where this shit happen
I
at?
remember it was the Trump Tower, Essex House, the London Hotel, the Gramercy Hotel. It was another hotel, Central Park West. I don't know, I don't remember the name, but they were all along the lines of super high-end, super suites. One of the suites, man, in the London Hotel, it was so crazy when I got out of it. I Googled it, and the joint was like $30K a night, yo.
Wow.
I never seen nothing like this in my life, man. The hotel room looked like, you know that scene in the Titanic when they walk in that ballroom and the stairway well comes down?
Right.
Like the hotel room was crazy, man.
How often did they call you or book you?
Like I said in my I can't remember the exact amount of time. So I estimated between 8 and 12 times, but it would be like every few months, but it would be a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like I would come Friday night, then they'd come back Saturday night, then come back Sunday, and then I might not be called for 3-4 months, and then they'll just pop up. So at the time, I thought they lived out of town. You know, she would call me from a Cali number. So I assumed they were out of state, and she basically said, yo, can I hit you when we're in town?
Right.
It would be multiple nights in a row, but months,
I know he
months
was
in between.
happy smashing
And
Cassie
some
though,
of these
boy.
questions that I actually made seem
A lot of smash Cassie.
repeated because you've been asked these same questions. I just want, you know, we have a different audience from with the interviews you've done, and some people may not know in the trial or what's happening. So some of these questions, I don't want to seem like it's redundant if you answer them 100 times this week. So I was reading that in the beginning, you didn't even know what was going on or that it was even Puff was participating. Could you explain your first time going to one of these events?
Yeah, so I really believed they were a married couple. Like when I got there, I didn't recognize Cassie.
Right.
Like I saw her face, she looked familiar, but honestly, when I saw her, I thought she was Megan Good.
Right.
Like if I was gonna pin her, I was like, yo, I think this is Megan Good. But then when I looked on the Google, Megan Good was much thicker. So I couldn't really figure it out. So, and then when she said her husband, when Puff walks out, to finally, you know, do his voyeur thing and see what's going on.
So hold on real
Take
quick.
that, take that.
It didn't start
Puff
with
came out like, take that, take that.
Nah, it never started with him in the room.
Okay.
It would only be me and her, and she had said at some point her husband's gonna walk in, and I'm not supposed to acknowledge him, look at him, act like he's not even in the room.
Right.
So we'll be like on a couch, let's say on one end of the room, and then like on the far end of the room, it'll be like a table with a chair, and eventually he'll come in the room and like sit in the area, of course, the room, like
Diddy was
like
a
watching
cuckold,
him.
y'all.
We're supposed to act like he's
Diddy
not
was a
there.
cuckold.
How often, pardon me, not how often, how long did it take until you realized that it was Diddy?
I want to say like over a year.
Get the fuck out of here.
Nah.
A whole year? Why? So let me.
He ain't know
how
it was
long-
Diddy
okay,
for a year.
let's-
He
let's-
is capping.
I want to stick to that for a second,
He's
but
straight
how
capping,
long
dog.
did you know till it was Cassie?
So the minute I found out it was Diddy, that's when I knew it was Cassie.
So it
Cause
took a year for you to find out for Cassie as well?
yeah, yo,
Okay.
I didn't recognize it. Like when I jumped out of it, I did try to do the Google searches. Like I wanted to try to figure out who it was,
Right.
but I'm Googling a married couple.
Right.
So every result I'm getting is not leading me to the right places because they're not married.
Got you.
You know, so then, and I never found out with a visual cue. It was a hotel, the ex's house.
He didn't
and
know it
I
was
would get
Cassie.
there, let's
He is
say,
lying,
2 in the
bro.
morning, and sometimes
He knew it was
nothing
Cassie.
would pop off for hours. So in this case, they threw me in like an extra room in the suite. And just to kill time, I happened to cut on the TV, but in the TV had a welcome message. So the TV said, yo, X's house would like to welcome Mr. Sean Combs. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like, I had no idea, man.
So that's how you found out that it was Cassie and Diddy by just cutting on the TV and seeing the introduction on the television. Wow.
Cutting on the TV.
Wow. I seen also in the transcripts that you would say that it was just a sex scene in the beginning. No intercourse. How long until you had actual intercourse? What was happening in the first few sessions when it wasn't any intercourse?
Nah, it was only the first session where it wasn't intercourse.
Okay, so only
they was grooming them.
10 times, one time
they was grooming them.
Intercourse the first time.
The first time, and it was offered, yo. But I was so bugged out, like this wasn't my hustle, right? So I'm really in there thinking this is a married couple, and they want to do some voyeur sexy scene. So we did the like set up on the couches, the baby all rubbed down or whatever. And then at some point, Puff jumped up. I didn't know it was him. He left the room. She left the room to talk to him. And she came back like, yo, that was perfect. We happy, we good. And then she said to me, yo, do you want to finish? Meaning, you know, I guess, do I want to bust a nut out? You know what I'm saying? And my first example, you know, I'm trying to be professional. Like, I'm like, nah, I'm good. Like, if y'all good, I'm good. This ain't about me. And I just left, you know, but she did say, all right, well, when we get back in town, we want to hit you again. Is it okay? I'm like, yeah, I just got $2K to rub down like a super bad chick. So I'm not, of course I'm down if you want to hit me back, but it was offered to me the first time and I actually turned it down, yo. Trying to be on some professional.
Was baby oil mandatory?
Mandatory.
Look at Ken's face.
Mandatory.
Baby oil
I
mandatory.
seen also in the transcripts that you said it was just supposed to be like a sexy scene, meaning that Puff would tell you to move the candles a certain way or tell her to move the candles a certain way for lighting purposes for his visual. Could you explain that?
Yeah, so like when I first got in there, she made it clear that this was a scene we were setting up for her husband.
Okay.
So, you know, it was like couches, all the furniture in the suite was covered in sheets. Like everything was covered in sheets. So it was like a single chair across from like a big sofa. And we were supposed to sit on there and kind of, I'm supposed to put oil on myself. She's supposed to do the same. And then at some point we'll rub it on each other and we doing little like masturbating. I'm masturbating, she's masturbating, but you could tell it was an act.
Right.
Like we're like in character, like one of them corny Cinemax movies. You know what I'm saying? Like the sexy Cinemax movies. So we're trying to make it look like the part, you know, and then he would give subtle cues because he's across the room and the room's dark, everything's candlelit, and he'll say like, yo, move a little bit, yo, move the candle, I can't really see. Or,
what if a candle would have fell, son?
Body, and he would never talk to me. Not one word to me, only to her. And if his instructions for me, it goes to her and she tells me. So it was like a real scripted kind of routine, and it really went like that every single time.
So he was basically orchestrating a sex scene without directly talking to you, but telling her certain things.
Exactly.
Wow. Crazy. I seen also in the transcript, or I actually heard you talk about this, that Puff will have the Muslim mask on and be naked from the neck down. What was that
what
like?
What Muslim mask?
Bro, that was like the weirdest shit ever.
What Muslim mask?
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's already weird knowing like a dude's coming in the room, you know? But, you know, I'm messing with the chick, and mind you, I'm seeing all this peripheral.
Right.
So it's extra crazy because it's not straight on. So it's at the corner of my eye. I'm like, yo, this dude got on like a veil, and he's half the time he's beating off and he's walking side to side. So it was definitely a difficult space to try to be in.
Look at
But
Cam
I ain't no
uncomfortable.
front, bro. At the
Cam
time, I'm greedy. I
uncomfortable.
want this bread. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at the scenario, and I'm trying to make it work. But it was tough, man. It was tough.
It was just a veil. Somebody told me he had a Yankee fitted over the veil. Like what? Like everything. So everything was just covering the face. Super duper pause and naked from the neck down every single time.
Every single time, man. So that's a little construed, right? It was a veil, just period. Like the ones the Muslim women wear, so you don't see anything but the eyes. But I think at some point after like the year and change, and it was a while, he wore the veil for a minute.
Right.
I think they might have figured out. I saw the TV, and at some point he just changed to a Yankee fitted. So at some point he dropped the veil, and I guess he knew. Maybe he saw the TV on, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I probably left it, and I guess he figured out, homie figured it out. So he stopped wearing the veil, and he was just, like, rocker fitted.
Right. I also seen that you say when you and her were doing what you guys were doing, he would be pacing back and forth with a bottle of Astroglide.
What's Astroglide?
Yeah, man, every time, you know.
Tell me in the comment, what's Astroglide?
So
what was being done with the Astroglide, though? Paul.
I guess he's using it as lubricant to beat off. You know what I'm saying? That was, you know, he's pleasuring himself during the action. So I'm obviously he's using that for lube.
Do you consider Puff a cuckold?
Yeah, I mean the whole time that's what I thought it was.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I thought it was.
It's because you keep using the word voyeur. This is cuckold activity.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, we're going to step it up to cuckold.
Yeah. So I'm saying voyeur because that's what she said to me.
Right.
Like when I came in.
You know why? Because they down. You know why? Because voyeur don't seem as bad as cuckold. So they downplay it with the, yo, I'm just a voyeur. Nah, you was an official cuckold, nigga. Because voyeur, I mean, you watching anybody, not your girl. Cuckold is when your girl is in play. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
Yeah, he's sound cuckoldish, man.
Yeah.
Did Puff ever participate?
Nah, man. Nah, he stayed across the room.
He lying. He is lying.
Like I said in my testimony, He's closest lying. He got to actual action, like it was one time. All this stuff, almost every session happened in the living room, but it was one specific one where we got moved to the bedroom, me and her. Mm-hmm. So in the bedroom, he's in a closer proximity because he's walking around the bed. And at some point, like almost at like the strip club, he took like a stack of hundreds and just threw it on the bed while we was while look at Cam's face. Sex, and we both was like what's going on? And he just was like, nah, I'm enjoying this shit. And you know, we just kept doing what we was doing.
Right. So the nigga basically, pardon me, I'm gathering information as we talk. Y'all in the bed, he's circling the room, takes out second and just throw it on the bed.
Just throw it on the bed.
Wow. It's crazy. Sorry about that. I was just thinking. What was the most money you made doing this with them?
Every single time I came, it was $1,200 or $2,000. But like I said, sometimes I could come 3 days in a row.
Right. So
so it would be $1,200, $2,000, $1,200 for that. You know what I'm saying?
For that session.
3 days. Yeah, exactly.
Got you. And it would last 2-3 days?
Yeah, 2-3 days, but not straight. Like a few hours, I'll go home, you'll come back again. A few hours, I'll go home, come back again. You know?
That nigga's on time. That nigga's on clockwork. That's a wild nigga.
So he was gonna clap 4 to 6 bands, though?
I also seen that you say Cassie
did y'all do it
for
for 4 to 6 bands?
Did you
Smash
take that as she liked you?
I had Diddy in the room.
I knew it was clear, man. This was something we were setting up for her dude, right? At the time, I'm thinking her husband, because she said this to me the very first encounter, right? So I didn't think it was a personable, she's into me. But obviously, if this is something that has to be done based on their sexual fetish, well, she's going to do it with somebody that, all right, I'm comfortable with this dude, you know?
Right.
So I always took it as however the vibe was, however things went, it worked for her. So that's why she said, I want to call you back, you know?
Got you. Did Puff ever appear jealous while you guys were having intercourse or participating with each other?
Not at all, man. Not at all. It was like good to go. Like I told you, the focus was making sure he got the right visuals, the lighting was right, put more baby oil on. Like he was into it from an enjoyment standpoint, not. Yeah.
So, but you saying he basically never was jealous. Did Cassie ever reach out to you without Puff?
Nah, I was strictly business. And honestly, man, I wasn't even trying to play that, get caught up in some type of fantasy. I know one of the other dudes got caught up in some fantasy of they could be together. I knew what it was, man.
Right.
She with a dude in $30,000 a night suites. Like I move. I can pull it off with chicks, but that's a tough act to follow.
You can't compare to Puff.
I saw it as an opportunity, man. And I was
30,000 a night suites.
Wow. Come up whatever way I could with that easy money. How I saw it.
Yeah, I ain't knocking you, my nigga. How was that pussy though?
I mean, bro. Even if it was fire.
Bro, was the pussy good for your family?
He said even if it was fire.
We was Harlem time, my nigga. You 39th Street on 40th. Was the pussy, how was that pussy, my nigga?
Bro, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I couldn't get there, bro.
Okay.
Like, I got a dude pacing back and forth, beating his joint, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, so you never...
my peripherals, my spider senses is wilding, you know what I'm saying? And especially when I found out it was Puff. When I found out it was Puff, it got all the way worse because if you grew up in Harlem, if you grew up in that era, I can't validate it, but everybody knows there's rumors, right? There's rumors that he could be, interested in dudes. So the whole time I'm semi-paranoid. Like I wrote in my book, bro, for real. I got a hearing problem.
Right.
And sometimes when he would give her directions, I would hear like something completely different. Like he'll say, yo, I like the position you in, and I'm like, yo, did he just say I wish I could penetrate him? Like,
yo, chill. Could I penetrate him? Is wild, boy.
I'm hearing like, yo, hold on, wait, what did he just say?
So basically, you never could get comfortable because. So let's just be clear and get the elephant out the room for the audience. You're not gay? You're saying?
Absolutely not.
Right. So therefore, you're saying that already, just to put everything into perspective, that you're there for this chicken to get this money. You don't know it's Puff this whole time. So you're already thinking like, okay, this nigga's being weird, whoever it is, and I got to keep an eye out for him because we don't know what type, in case he want to, if he get mad, if he want to join, I'm not with none of that. I'm here to bone your bitch like you paid me to do and stay the fuck out of it. But what you're saying is the paranoia intensified once you found out it was Puff and you like, oh, hold on, now this shit done got to 10 because not only am I fucking this nigga girl, but
he feeling wild uncomfortable. He feeling wild uncomfortable, y'all. That is spooky.
So now you saying you hearing shit that you wasn't hearing, and now you can't really enjoy the pussy like you want to enjoy it. Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Yeah,
like
you
I'm
couldn't
not
enjoy it.
I'm not intimately.
I believe
connected,
that.
yo. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I don't think I got a real erection the entire time.
Right.
Like I was loading up on any pill, anything that I could take just to get there because I could not connect.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? It was too paranoid, it was official paranoid, bro. Like,
right.
Cause I'm not used to being in that situation. And then it's like homie got on the veil and butt naked. And then like I said, I find out it's Puff. And then it's the rumors. So real talk, I'm like, yo.
He thought he was going
I don't want this to go left.
blow his buns up. That's why.
We're going to get you some pink horsepower because it don't matter what the situation is. That joint work. We going,
Yeah,
you
boys
from the
gotta
block.
promote
We'll
big
send you a case
horsepower.
up there. Nah, you already, nigga. That ain't about nothing. Did you go raw ever?
Yo, bro, yeah, for real, bro. That same day when he threw the stack of hundreds,
Right.
like that was like it was. We were on the bed and I started out, I'm eating a box, right, and after you would tell it was like some excitement, some connection. So when I pop up, she's scooting towards me for the penetration. And she kind of looked at him.
Why can't on the
Like,
side?
go ahead, have a good time. And I was wild reckless. I just
Right.
It was what it was.
So it's only one time you went raw. You repeatedly went raw.
That was, let's say that was the 4th time, and then it was every time to the last time.
Oh,
Gotcha.
he was hitting it
Gotta
raw.
go raw sometime. You gotta go raw and Cassie. It be like that, my nigga.
He said he hit that
Some
raw
of my co-hosts,
too.
they got a couple
Raw
questions for you. I got one more
dog.
questions before
I'm
they
gonna
ask
hit
you
it
a couple
raw
questions.
every time.
We
Hit
heard
the-
about 50's baby mom, Daphne, being involved in some of these things. Did you ever fuck Daphne, 50 Cent's baby mother?
Nah, every time I was called or involved in any way, it was only Cassie specifically.
All right, cool, man. Hey, yo, my man Larry, Sheree, you got a question for him? We get ready to wrap this up. Sheree, you've been great, man, and thank you for participating. A couple more questions before we get you out of here. And also, we want to talk about your book before you go as well.
I appreciate that.
Yo, what's good, fam? So my question is, you said on the first night, that she asked you if you wanted to continue, and you said no. So I'm asking is, she wanted to continue. Was Puff there? So basically I'm saying, did she want to do it without Puff?
So when she came back in the room and asked me, her actual words was, do you want to finish? Right? So I found out later, finish meant me busting a nut.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
So she offered, but like I said, I just turned it down. And if I'm keeping it 100, part of the reason why I turned it down is because I was struggling to get my joint up and hold an erection anyway, because homie got on the veil. I don't know who it is. He's pacing back and forth. So I couldn't get in that zone anyway. So I turned it down. Obviously I'm trying to be professional or whatever, but at the same time, I don't think I could
Cassie
have
raw,
finished if I
man.
wanted to.
But
That's
he wasn't in the
win
room
is a
with you
win.
anymore.
Yeah.
He
win is a
wasn't,
win.
but what I would assume what would have happened was she would have said, do I want to? And if I would have started, he would have walked back in.
All right, then I got two more. So the other one was, when he threw a stack of money on you, were you able to keep that money? Was that the most money that he threw on you? Was that like,
He threw money on him like a stripper.
How like you said earlier, 1,200
Wow.
to 2,000. Was it more than that, or was that the 1,200 to 2,000? Because when I think of a stack, I think of like 5,000, 10,000.
Nah, it wasn't a stack. It was, I believe it was 2,000. And honestly, I thought that was a day I was going to really make a lot of bread, because the 2,000 got thrown on the bed, was put to the side. As soon as we finished, it was handed to me. So I was hoping then she was going to come, because she would come at the end of the night and pay me again, and that'd be an additional money. But that 2,000 ended up just being the money I got. So it wasn't like
He was cheap skating on
of a session. So I just pretty much
threw
got
Puff threw money on
in advance,
I got you. My last question is, when all this kind of came about, there's this history now of
Puff is a
being
wild
really violent.
cat, boy.
Were you scared to testify? Are you scared of retribution? Are you like was that an issue for you to go testify?
Yeah, I mean, it's something you have to consider, right? But look, what I understand is the details of what went on. Obviously, they're going to be embarrassing. You know what I'm saying? In terms of what happened in those encounters, and I got to testify to what happened. But the truth of the matter is, I don't feel like I was biased, or let's say, threw him under the bus, right? None of my testimony is saying she was abused, there was aggression, there was...
He said what he did.
It was not consented. You know what I'm saying? She was under the influence of the drugs, because that's just not true, right? Like, everything seemed in the right mind. Everybody seemed cool. All my communications and everything with her was
You
on
might have
point.
saved her.
So honestly, I thought me testifying my actual facts actually probably benefited to the defense. To this day, I'm still not exactly sure why the prosecution wanted me to testify. So I felt like as long as I go up there and say exactly what happened, again, there's going to be an embarrassing element to it. But I don't think I don't think my testimony seemed biased as if I was trying to do anything other than telling the truth. You know what I'm saying? Not like framing things, you know what I'm saying, to go out of my way to put them in a bad light or put anybody in a light other than what the facts were.
Cool. And my other co-host, PT, got a couple questions?
Yeah, what's going on, family? The question I wanted to ask you was, when she first told you, in your first encounter, when she hit you and she told you it was for her husband, as you progressed and kept going with her after these dates, at any point did you think she enjoyed it as well as Puff or more than Puff?
So there was only one time where I can, I testified to it also, where it was clear to me that I thought she enjoyed it, and that was the first time we were in Raw, and he threw the money and stuff like that. Because, you obviously, we fellas, we mess with chicks, you know the mannerisms when it's a connection and when it's not, right? So, but I could say that's the only time it was overtly, I thought, and this is my perspective, that she was enjoying it. The other times, it was clear it was acting. We were putting on a show. Not that she was against it, but, I'm not going to, go on no ego trip, oh, she was loving it, she was loving me. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get those vibes. We were putting on a show.
All right, second question. When he gave y'all the permission to go Raw the first time, right? Because you said it continued after that. Once you started going Raw repetitively, did he give you instructions where you had to nut at or you came in her?
Yeah, so I didn't get the instructions from him, but it was instructions from her, specifically. Every time I had to nut in or around the outside of her box. So on her clit, on the lips, everything, and to that degree on the outside of her vagina. And that was clockwork. It had to be done like that every single time. And actually, it was kind of mandatory. Like the session could not be over unless I nutted, and I had to nut on the outside of her vagina.
You couldn't leave until that happened?
Yeah, that was mandatory. It was that gotta happen for the
He
session.
said he had to nut.
And those instructions that she gave you, they came from him or they was from both of them or just her?
I mean, like I said, I only ever spoke to her. So the instructions came from her.
Okay.